Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the ShadowClan Den. I am Shadow Raven. Today, I am an Oompa Loompa. And Shadowfang, well...
I'm the Joker.
Speaks for himself. And today, because it is Halloween, which is my absolute favorite holiday, we are doing our top 10 favorite movies to watch on Halloween. And we figure it's probably overdone, but who cares? It's Halloween, you're supposed to do something spooky or spoopy or whatnot. So, let us begin. Number 10?
Number 10 is Edward Scissorhands. We put this on our list because it is a creepy film. I think I had to admit that.
Yeah, it's definitely creepy.
The makeup and the whole visual style of the movie. The reason it's so low on the list, even though it is a very good movie, that's one of my favorites by Tim Burton, but it's just
a hard
watch, and it's so emotionally up and down and heart-wrenching, and I have a hard time watching it, and I can watch almost anything. So,
well,
it's a very emotional movie, so that's why we put it so low on our list.
But it is a good movie. It is definitely one of our favorites. It's just one of those that we can really only watch around Halloween because of the emotional intensity that it always ends up bringing us. Great movie nonetheless. Definitely recommend it if you've never seen it. And if you've never seen it, go see it.
Don't get a light to see it.
It's worth it. Number 9 is Hocus Pocus. A classic. Freaking hilarious. And it's a witchy movie. And it's definitely one of those classic things that you have just got to see on Halloween. I mean, it's based on Halloween. It's on Halloween anyway. It's based around the whole concept of the holiday itself. And it is just fun. It's magical, it's a little bit creepy, and I gotta say, for Bette Midler, pulling off that particular role I was very impressed. Considering that I didn't really expect much of it when I first heard of it, and I was thinking, okay, so, witchy Halloween movie. Nah, I was impressed, and I still love it to this day. Unfortunately, I don't think we have a copy of it.
No, we haven't found that one yet.
We have not been able to find it. I lost my copy that I had for several years.
I don't think I ever had one. So there you go.
What's wrong with you?
My mom.
Okay, fair enough. But we're definitely gonna look for that movie because we've looked for it a couple times, still haven't been able to find it. Not even Walmart's $5 bin. Which, props to Walmart. We love you in general, but get Hocus Pocus, for crying out loud. We need it.
Number 8 is Sweeney Todd, another Tim Burton movie. And yeah, this one's just overall creepy. I mean, for a musical,
it's got the creep factor.
It's scary, it's bloody, it's sick, it's twisted. I think it's a perfect movie for Halloween, especially the way it ends.
Oh my god, the ending. The ending
is freaking brutal.
Oh man, just the gore and the blood and... Yeah, that's just an overall good spooky movie to watch.
That's creepy.
It's granted there are some parts where it gets a little bloody, so if you're not that strong of a stomach, then
my mom can handle it, so I think pretty much anybody can handle it.
I actually have issues with some of the spurting blood parts. I cannot actually watch those without feeling kind of sick.
The only part that kind of grossed me out was when you find out that guy's tonic is piss.
That was awesome.
Creepy.
No,
putting piss in your hair.
Oh, that was
okay.
Funny.
That's gross.
That was funny. That was disgusting. Yes, but that was funny. I can handle that better than that.
I can handle blood instead of washing my hair with piss.
That's still freaking awesome, though. That's funny. Number 7 is the Underworld series. I mean, you got your classic Lycan vampire battle combat rivalry going on. Right off the bat, we are werewolf people.
Yes. Right
off the bat. And this is not the only werewolf movie that will be on their list, I promise you. I actually used to like vampires when I was younger. I guess you could say, evolved a little bit in that one. Partially, thanks to this one over here. This is the real werewolf fan, at least in the family. He's actually the one that kind of converted me on that one. I still respect vampires for what they are, for what they are originally supposed to be. Twilight, you don't count.
No.
Can't stand that movie.
Twilight sucks.
Those aren't vampires. I know we're going to piss a lot of people off by saying that, but no.
That's our opinion. Twilight sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
End of story.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, on the other hand, that's a vampire I can respect. That's a vampire
movie that you want to watch. Now I'll say that for the end.
Yeah, you'll save that for the end part.
But
Underworld in general, I love the portrayal of both the Lycans and the vampires. They did a very good job. The overall series, they're based around the two most popular mythical creatures to dress up as in general. They did a wonderful job on it. The fourth one, in my opinion, was a little bit lacking.
The fifth one is supposed to be coming, I think, next year.
I
think it comes out at the same time the last Resident Evil does. And I think they're both scheduled for 2016. So.
Well, that's something to look forward to next year then.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely gotta watch Underworld. I mean, even if you can't get through all 4 of them in one day, which can be done, it's just for some people at least. But it's definitely something you gotta watch. I mean, it's just Halloween-y,
They're interesting.
Yep, they're good.
Number 6 is one of my personal favorites. I think there are Tim Burton movies on here, don't I? I think that's up with that.
We're Tim Burton fans.
Sleepy Hollow. Tim Burton's version of Sleepy Hollow, the one with Johnny Depp as Ichabod Crane. I find this movie more hilarious than creepy. I mean, Ichabod faints 5 times throughout the entire movie.
I think we counted 5 or 6
freaking
total.
Hilarious. But it does have that creepy kind of old school, early American feel to it. It's rustic. It's got the fog. It's got your creepy villain. It's got some witchcraft in it. There is some gore. The part where he cuts open the tree. That's a little bit bloody.
That was kind of cool, though. I mean, all things considered, bleeding tree.
It's not really scary, but it is. It's a good.
It's spoopy
Hollywood rendition of an old classic tale, and I liked it. And plus, the tale of the Headless Horseman is a classic. I love what Tim Burton did with it. Definitely worth watching. If you haven't seen it,
go see it.
Watch it. It is phenomenal. It is awesome.
Well worth it.
Yes, definitely.
Number 5 is this is a classic. I mean, how can you have Halloween without the Addams Family and the Addams Family values? The tune speaks for itself. So many people have watched this, and it's probably kind of cliche to put it on a list, but you can't really have, at least in my opinion, you cannot have a top 10 Halloween movies list without the Addams Family on it.
Especially if you grow up with it.
Especially if you grew up with it. I mean, come on. Wednesday is so Halloween. I mean, if I had ever been able to physically pull that particular costume off, I probably would have gone as Wednesday multiple times for Halloween as a kid. As such, physically speaking, I am not capable of pulling that one off, so I never did because I did not want to disrespect the character. That's kind of my thing when dressing up, is physically sticking to the character as best you can. Other people don't necessarily agree with that, but that's my take on it. But the Addams Family, that one really just kind of speaks for itself. But the reason it's number 5 is because there's a couple of other ones some of the other ones that we have on this list a little bit farther up are just a little bit more classic. We might like them just a little bit more, and as such, Addams Family does get a high-ranking spot, but it's, it makes it into the top 5, but it's just not quite up to par with some of the other ones, at least in our opinion.
And for me, the reason number 4 beats it out is obvious. I'm going with the Ginger Snap series, once again, another werewolf movie series. I have not seen the third one, which I think is actually a prequel, but I have seen 1 and 2. Love them, especially the first one. I think when Ginger starts to transform, the way she transforms, what it does to her physically and her hormonally and all that stuff is just awesome. I think they're visually stunning. I think the werewolf could have been a little bit done better, but I think they were made in the early 90s, late 80s, or whatever. So the technology for wolves wasn't as good as it is now, but still very, very good movies. The whole werewolf thing is awesome. And the way they actually start off is the werewolf actually starts killing animals around the town instead of humans right away, so it brings a little bit different twist to the mystery factor of the werewolf, and I really love the Ginger Snap series. And once again, if you haven't seen it, go find them. They are hard to find. They are very, very hard to find, but if you can find them, watch them.
We've been looking for the past couple of years, and we haven't been able to find them.
They are fabulous.
I personally have only seen the first one. Luckily, a couple of our friends own all 3 of them, and we watched the first. We watched the first one one night.
We should have asked to borrow those.
Oh well. But some of our friends own them, and one time we went over to their place. We watched the first one, and I got for me not liking scary movies that much. Ginger Snaps. Even I can recommend it. It's freaking amazing. It's very well done.
Very good.
I do have to agree with Cody though. I do think that the werewolf could have been done a little bit better. But for technology-wise, at that time, they did pretty freaking good. They did pretty freaking good on that one. Number 3, and this one is probably one of our combined favorites at this particular point. Number 3 is The Crow. Brandon Lee did a phenomenal job, and it totally sucks as to what happened during the making of this particular movie.
May he rest in peace.
Yes, may he rest in peace. Freaking amazing actor. But we love this movie. It takes place on Halloween. It's got so many of the different Halloween creepy elements. You might not, I can't really think, I haven't seen that movie in a while, so I actually can't think of any right off the top of my head, which I feel really dumb for that.
They aren't really. I mean, the only creep factor is he comes back from the dead and he has the powers of this magic troll, so we can get revenge on the people that killed his fiancée and himself.
Yeah, but all things considered, when you start learning the backstory of what happened and such and what they did a year ago, plus the actual group itself, I think that qualifies as Halloween.
Oh, plus it takes place on Halloween.
Plus it takes place on Halloween night. I mean, that right there. That right there put it on the list, but the fact that it's an amazing movie
it's got such a cult following. A lot of people actually watch it just on Halloween every year.
No. So, it's just that good. I mean, for us, it's one of those movies for us that we'll watch year round. But Halloween is definitely one of the days that you've got to see it. From what I've heard, the other Crow movies are okay, but the original is the one that's...
The original with Brandon Lee is the bomb.
Yeah, the original one is the only one that's making our list.
Number 2, this is one of my favorites. Me and my dad used to watch this year-round. Beetlejuice. I mean, come on. Who doesn't like Beetlejuice? I remember there was one time me and my dad watched this for Christmas Eve because we were bored. There was nothing on TV. I thought, screw it, let's watch this. But Beetlejuice it's got your creepy, macabre, it's funny, it's got your dead people, your monsters, your magic.
It's got everything.
Freaking phenomenal. The best scene is the Deo scene.
Oh yeah, of course. I actually saw that
on YouTube the other day. I watched it like 10 times. Freaking hilarious.
Yeah, the dining room scene is by far. I mean, it's definitely one of the iconic scenes in the movie, but it's just so much fun.
And Michael Keaton did.
Oh my God, he brought his A game for that. He nailed that one. He brought his A game for
I've heard they're planning a sequel. I think 2017.
I'm not sure if it's a sequel or if it's a reboot because I've heard both. I've heard it's going to be a sequel.
The only thing about that is, and they might have to make it a reboot because I heard that Michael Keaton doesn't want to do it again.
Yeah, well.
So if he can't do it, they won't do a sequel.
This is true, but either way.
But Hollywood better do it right, or else.
Yeah, they didn't. Well, I tell you, the first one's going to be a heck of competition, though. Well, it's going to be hard to match that.
Yeah, well, it's hard to beat out anything Tim Burton does.
Yeah, this is true. Well, speaking of Tim Burton, and our number 1, which is actually playing on the TV right now. Sorry you can't hear it, but that's okay. Is The Nightmare Before Christmas. This one, I grew up on this movie. I mean, I love this movie. And with all the songs and such, one of our favorite YouTubers, Tricky Wee, which she's awesome, by the way, go check her out.
Yes, check her out.
She did a Sally song and, what was it? Dang it.
Corpse Bride.
Sally's song and Corpse Bride medley. And she just posted that the other day. It is freaking amazing. Go watch it. She's amazing in general, but that particular song is awesome. But either way, the movie itself, I grew up on the movie. It's one of those where all the songs are really catchy. You can't help but start thinking of them around Halloween. I actually don't understand why they don't play it on the radio at this time of year, but I think they should. This is one of those things where I would have this Halloween album playing pretty much all day, if not all month. The movie itself is amazing. I like the visuals. It's if I remember correctly, it is stop motion.
Yes,
stop motion capture.
Yep.
But I love the visuals. I love all the I love all the different types of characters they have. They've got your spooky. You've got the classic spooky and creepy, but then you have kind of the cute creepy, and then of course the werewolf is actually pretty cool. He's definitely one of my favorite characters, despite the fact you don't really get to see him that often. Of course, Jack Skellington. I mean, you can never go wrong with the Pumpkin King. And then there are some things in there that you have got to start singing it when you have to start singing. And it's really, I know a lot of it is definitely about the soundtrack. The visuals are amazing. The characters are awesome. But I think a lot of it, especially for me, is definitely the musical track. They're so easy to sing along to. I think people do covers or do remake versions every single year of at least one song from the movie. And a lot of, I actually like a lot of the remakes. There's one fairly new one by Nate Wants to Battle. Go check him out too. He's freaking awesome. He did a rock version of What's This? And I love it. I mean, I absolutely love that version. I love the original song, but Nate's version is definitely cool. I mean, it's a very good version. Go check that one out. But
that's it. That is our list of our top 10
favorite Halloween movies.
favorite comical, I guess, Halloween movies. Here about a half hour to an hour, I will be doing my own video of my top 10 scary movies. And yeah, this list is going to be different. I'm not going to have slasher films on this list. I don't like the slasher films. To me, they're not scary. They're more violent than anything else. But
That's
in about an hour, I will be posting next. So stay tuned for that.
Right. And that was our video, and happy hunting.
Bye.